7 o'clock. It's 7 o'clock right now, Bobby. And here we are for our first at home marriage enrichment group that we are live.
Yes, we have missed our marriage enrichment group on Friday night so much. So if there are people who regularly come to the parenting center and are trying marriage enrichment at home, we would love to see you, but we will be carrying on tonight so that couples get the aid and the fun that we usually have on these Friday nights.
And we want to get feedback from you. So any way that you can let us know you're on or you're involved, we want to do it. We hope to do this again next month, but in the meantime, we may switch from the approach taken by the parenting center, and we may go to Zoom. So that's a possibility. We haven't set that up yet, but we think we can. And that way we can see all the people as well. And that would be fun to see your faces.
It would.
Because we missed you all.
We'd like to start tonight with something that often we do when we have the tables set up for our marriage enrichment groups. And that is simply to identify for the couples around the table a concern and a celebration since we have last been together.
Yeah.
So Britton and I will do ours in front of you, and then we'll take a little pause, and we would like for you to turn to your partner and identify some concern and some celebration from the last few days or weeks.
So we'll give you time to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So what is a concern or celebration for you, Bobby?
Well, one celebration for me during this very, very strange...
Let's just talk to each other.
Okay. This very strange COVID-19 time is that I've learned some new skills.
Yes, you.
We have done Zoom with our family. Right. We have done Zoom for Sunday school. It's a lot easier to use. Oh, we did it with another MAID group.
With our marriage enrichment group. Yes.
Uh-huh. And all went well. So it's a good way in this time of social distancing and not being in groups that we can keep up with each other. So I would say a celebration is that I have learned some technological things.
Well, I was going to say a celebration for us has been that you just had a birthday last week.
Oh, that's true. Uh-huh.
You're a year younger.
Yeah, right. And a concern for me is that all of the issues that are going on in our country get paid attention to and resolved not only in a timely and an equitable way, but in a common sense way.
Yes.
We can't do everything, but we certainly should do some things.
Yes.
And my concern is that those get done and in a speedy way.
Yes, and that we do honor lives, all lives, and certainly Black lives matter, but all lives matter.
That's true.
And so we honor how we treat people.
Well, do you have a concern?
I have a concern that it ties to the being safe and being healthy, because we're opening up. Fort Worth and Dallas is opening up,
and we are at that vulnerable population.
We're that vulnerable,
about.
And so we've got to watch it and take care of ourselves. But it does concern me that the number of deaths keeps rising, and I am very concerned about that. But I'm not fearful in the sense that I don't know, I don't want to catch any. Well, I don't want to catch it, but I'm not fearful about it.
Mm-hmm.
Just concerned.
Yes. Okay, so let's take about a minute and a half
each. Let them take about a minute and a half each. So we'll come back. We're not going to leave, but we're just going to be quiet while you have a chance for about two minutes or so to do this.
A concern and a celebration.
I could have said the thing of my granddaughter. I was concerned about her too.
I thought of that too.
And that was good. But I think you hope that they can do that for themselves. So we need to watch our time. Up there or here? Where are you watching?
I was watching. I watch.
You won't know when it changes.
I'm watching the second hand.
Got 6 minutes. You can look at it when it's you've got another minute. How that works?
I've got 2 minutes.
Already.
Let's give them 2.5.
Okay. Hope you both have had a chance to say something and that you have connected there. I hope that works for you. Tonight, we're going to be talking about keeping a strong us during difficult times. I'd like to know, but I don't know how to ask, and that is, did you print out what we have prepared for this?
We send an exercise.
If you haven't, what we can do is we can jot down or speak each of the points, which Bobby often does read to us, and you can very quickly write them down. But we will attempt to let you know about that as far as
when we get to the exercise.
What they are.
This is all experimental tonight about how we can manage to have date night. But we thought it was too important not to try something.
Yes, we want to connect with you, and yet it is difficult to connect when we don't know how many people are there or if you have access to everything we need. So what we're wanting to talk about in this exercise is a strong us.
And how important a strong us is.
Now, we've talked many times about the importance of a strong me and a strong you, because everybody gets married sort of with that way. The single adults do that. They've been in that direction, but the couple needs to develop the us. So you've got the strong me and the strong you, but they don't overlap into the strong us a lot of times.
But the whole title of the program tonight is keeping a strong us during difficult times.
Yeah.
And certainly what we've been through as a country and as couples in Fort Worth has been indicative of very difficult times, dangerous times, health risks, economic troubles. All of those have put stresses on couples, and therefore all the more important to have and feel a strong us between you.
And sometimes that's really hard when we may have lost a job and we're on furlough and we don't know if we'll get the job back when they bring everybody in. So there are a lot of factors that are going on. And
yes, we have a neighbor, and I was leaning over the fence talking to him when this whole thing started, and he said, I just want to tell you, we're going to be running lean in the next few months.
Yes.
And that was his way of saying I'm on furlough. My wife is on furlough. This is going to be very difficult for us.
Well, and I was listening today on the news about San Antonio as one of the larger cities in certainly one of the largest in Texas. Had about 60,000 families they've been having to provide food for, and so it's unbelievable. Really.
It's difficult times for everybody. Well, let's talk about at least 3 ways that we can keep a strong us during difficult times. We forget sometimes how important it is, how our family, children, parents, extended families, brothers and sisters, really count on our relationship.
Right.
It affects the future. It's so important. But in the midst of difficulty, we sometimes lose sight of how important that is. Yeah. So, one way that makes a strong us and keeps a strong us is to want it.
Yeah.
I think we have to believe it is important. It is worth our time. It is worth our consideration. Sometimes it's worth changing some actions that are destructive to strong us.
The way, because we have other important priorities in our lives.
But to me, a strong couple, a strong relationship, a strong us is the foundation of the family.
And that's a decision you make individually and as a couple. Say, let's do it this way.
So if you have a glimmer of the idea that you want it and you believe it could happen, it's really good mutually to set some goals together, some couple goals.
Okay.
What is it that we would like to do during this time or to be during this time? What is it we would like not to do during this time to each other?
And think of more not what the pandemic is doing to you, but what can we learn and do during the pandemic so that we actually are taking hold of it and being in charge of it instead of, oh, we're stuck here, we have to do this.
But many couples who have been in marriage enrichment for a while see how positive it is.
Yeah.
See how beneficial it is. So
see how beneficial what is.
How beneficial working toward building a better relationship is. It's something that can be done.
Okay.
It's within our reach, as one company puts it.
Yeah.
So setting some reasonable goals during this time that please both of you, not just my goal for you, what you better do, but setting them together is very helpful. What's the second one?
Well, it seems to me that we need to use good talking and listening skills. We need to develop or utilize what we already know to be wise choices in the way we handle our interactions with each other.
And there are bound to be disagreements that are going to come up during this time of most people being at home more than they were used to.
And by the way, let me just put a parenthesis here that we're doing this chat every Friday morning. And
11 o'clock.
To pick up on what Bobby just said, we just dealt with one of those in the chat. So go back and look at the chat.
Yeah, it's on the Healthy Marriage, Healthy
Family
website.
Coalition website.
Yes.
Or really it's Facebook, Bobby.
Oh, okay. All right. So we're still working on the second thing about making a strong us and keeping a strong us is the importance of both of you designing some kind of process, some kind of guidelines that you both agree to for handling disagreements. They're going to come up. They're going to be there. And sometimes they take you by surprise and you're mad and your partner is mad and you just react to each other, and things get out of hand before you know it. So when you're not angry, to agree on some way to deal with disagreements, and both of you stick to that, it keeps the time safe. It keeps the time more likely to arrive at some way to deal with the disagreement.
Right. You're sort of inside the boundaries that you've chosen and how we're going to interact.
It's like sports.
Yeah.
There's some rules for all the different sporting events. And if there can be some rules that both of you agree on that you will do and you will not do,
yes, if you
regarding disagreements, it'll be very helpful.
In football, if you step out of bounds, you're out of bounds. It's that simple. So ideally, you find the ways to not have yellow flag thrown.
Mm-hmm. So that's the second way. A third thing we'd like to say about developing and keeping a strong us is the skill of simply listening to each other.
That's true.
Our chat this morning was about doing that very thing. Britton and I had a small, minor disagreement while we were working a puzzle. And I told him how I felt about something that he did and said during working that puzzle. But then I didn't listen to what he responded because I assumed that I already knew what he was going to say.
It's a good thing you're not going to tell that whole story. You almost
I did not listen. So I did not hear the first time that he was actually apologizing to me for saying something sharp about what happened during creating a puzzle, a jigsaw puzzle together.
Yes, it's a very important jigsaw puzzle.
And I felt terrible because I didn't listen. I just assumed I knew already what he was going to say.
Right.
I think listening not only is educational, I think it's polite to do. And it leads to understanding and much more appreciation when we simply listen.
Well, not only that, it also says, I care about you, I respect you, you are worth my time. I'm going to listen to what you have to say.
Mm-hmm.
And that's in keeping with all lives matter.
Well,
so you start right here in the home.
But it also amazingly keeps a strong us during difficult times when we simply listen to the other person.
We didn't mention this, but I do think it is a way to keep a strong us, and that is have a couple time every day, 10, 15 minutes, which we've talked about before many times, and we've even suggested that you use our book, Marriage for the Everyday, if you had not already used it. So I think those four things could be beneficial to us.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why don't we get into the exercise?
Okay, this is an exercise simply to talk to each other about our difficult times and about our relationship.
We have 7, I guess you'd say questions or comment.
I don't know if these have already been sent to you.
Let's assume they don't have them.
Okay.
So
if you could jot these down.
You're going to read them to us, and then you and I can do a
short
couple
version.
Of them.
Yes.
We'll sort of prime the pump a little bit here and get started on it and turn it to you, give you the time to work on it.
The first question.
Well, each person, you don't need to do that probably.
What is one thing you have learned during this long pandemic time?
So something you've learned.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
The second question. What is one thing that has given you joy during this time?
Okay.
3. What is one concern you have had during this time? 4, what is one action that your partner has done that you have appreciated?
Okay. Hope there is.
5, what is one thing you would like to accomplish as a couple?
Not necessarily during this time, but something
This
that's
might
coming.
be something to do.
Okay.
This might even be something to be together.
Okay.
Something you would like to accomplish as a couple in the future. 6, what is something you like about your relationship? Something that's good about it, something that pleases you.
Mhm.
And the last one, 7, is a discussion question. You might do it tonight. If you don't have time, you might save it and do it later.
Okay.
All of us couples are now in a pioneer period, having never been here before.
Right.
How do you see your lives making a difference during this changing time?
Making a difference to each other, making a difference beyond the couple, both.
I think we just leave that up to whatever
Okay.
the couple wants to discuss.
Okay.
But about making a difference as a couple in this changing time, and whether you talk about it tonight or later, it would be interesting to find out your different points of view toward what is important about these times and what the two of you can do together.
So what we will do is maybe do 2, maybe at the most 3 of these questions, just to get us started, what we will do. But we're going to talk to each other, and you can do this at home to turn toward each other and make it.
Yes, remember, for those of you who have regularly come to make date night, the knee to knee technique.
Turn toward each other, touch knee to knee, therefore eye to eye. So you don't keep social distance here. This is closeness. Okay, so the first one, why don't you read the question again? And then
Why don't we each pick out a
all
couple
right, I
from
want to do
here?
the first 3 myself.
The first 3, okay.
I chose one thing I learned during this time is that really surprised me is that I don't have enough time. It seems like we all have all kinds of time because we're home all the time. But I set up some schedules, things to do, and invariably the day is gone and I didn't get everything done. So I don't have enough time. That's one thing I've learned.
Okay, that's very interesting.
You okay?
I picked number 5.
Okay, number 5, which is?
What is one thing you would like to accomplish as a couple?
Oh, okay.
I have learned during this time recently that I have still some very bad habits that I probably brought to our relationship 64 years ago.
Well, okay, I would rather call them habits that you brought with you that don't work in this relationship.
Oh, okay. They probably would work somewhere, but they don't with you.
Right, okay.
And so I've begun to work on those things.
Okay.
And some of them are producing really good results. And
That's
so
true.
I would like for us to accomplish unlearning some of the things that
we
don't like and we don't appreciate in each other.
Okay.
And both of us as a couple identify and acknowledge those things and try to make a difference in unlearning and relearning some new marriage enrichment skills that work better.
Right. Okay. I like that. We'll see how that flies. I'm going to do number 2. What is one thing that has given you joy during this time?
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say, Bobby, that this has been a really good time with you.
Mm.
I've enjoyed our time. We've had so many good moments.
Mm-hmm.
We laugh a lot.
That's true. We've become much more playful.
Yes, right. We have become more playful,
Mm-hmm.
and I just there we don't have all these other agendas at other places or
Mm-hmm.
separate agendas. And if we do things away from each other, I think both of us miss each other
Mm-hmm.
when we're not here.
Mm-hmm.
And so
well, that's good.
I've enjoyed the time with you very much. Okay.
Well, I'm going to pick number 2 as well.
Okay.
What is one thing that has given you joy during this time? I've been dedicated to working in the yard.
You have.
And I have dug and weeded and composted and worked hard in our flower beds, right, which we have a lot of.
We do.
And it's given me joy to see things bloom. And now we both walk around and look into the flower beds and see all the blooming things. Right. And there's a great pleasure in that.
Well, your work has shown results.
Yes.
That's been
exciting. It has been hard work, but it's given me joy.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes we call you the mudder.
Mother Earth, yes.
The Mother Earth, because you're out there sitting in the mud. Not right now, of course.
Mm-hmm.
The third one is, what is the one concern that you have had during this time? And I think it's tied to all the people that have gotten sick, and so many have died. Mm-hmm. And the fact, I mean, like the retirement homes, the nursing homes are just devastated. Mm-hmm. And those in prison that, it just really bothers me that we have situations that we can't seem to put a cap on, mm-hmm, on the deaths and even the children. I've been concerned about the ailments that the children have had.
That's true.
They've really been sad. And so it does give me a great concern.
Well, my third one I'm going to do is number 6.
Okay.
What is something you like about your relationship?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's, there's so many things that I like about it.
Okay.
But one thing I have learned, I not only like, it's invaluable to me. We have a lot of the same values.
Yes.
And not only are we older, but during this very stressful and strange time, those values become important.
They do.
And so the fact that we share a lot of them, mm-hmm, is so helpful. It just doubles the importance of doing those values and giving to causes that we both value.
Right.
And I'm so grateful to be married to somebody who shares in the things that I find important.
Yes. Well, same here. I feel the same way. So those are just some of our answers to this. Mm-hmm. Now we want to give you some time. And I would say, why don't we say about 10 minutes after, let's see, what time is it? It's almost 7:30. So why don't we say at 1:15, we will call you back.
And after you have had time to talk to each other about as many of these things as you want to talk about, I hope there's a way for you to make comments. We can't, unfortunately, see your faces with this process, but we would like to get some feedback because couples help couples at Marriage Enrichment.
Yes.
And that becomes increasingly important, that we share with each other experiences that have worked things that are important to us that other couples may share too. So if you want to make a comment after our 15-minute time to talk to each other, I hope you'll figure out a way to do that.
So we'll give you the 15 minutes, and quarter till, according to my watch, we'll come back with you, and we'll have a conclusion and feedback if we can get some feedback. So we look forward to that. So enjoy talking to each other about keeping a strong us. Now, what I can do is mute it. So
don't do anything. Don't do anything in case we mess it up. Just leave it as it is. They won't hear us anyway.
Okay.
Let's do that last one.
Well, let's do the rest of it. I haven't done 4. I'd like to do that one too.
All right.
One action that your partner has.
Well, I appreciated your going to Sprouts and getting what you needed.
Mm-hmm.
You wanted a sandwich meat, and you went and got it, and you got fruit. You found a good deal on strawberries, and you got some extra milk. That was so nice of you to go do. It was very helpful.
In case you're not through, we're going to give you 5 more minutes because we found that we went through it much faster than we expected. So sort of wrap up in about 5 minutes.
Oh.
Okay, good. That's good. Right. We don't have anything that says keeping us strong. This is what it says. That's cool. About 2.5 more minutes. It's one thing to do a chat where we're just talking. We don't know who's out there. This way, we don't know if there is.
That's right. It's a little strange, but it was experimental. We're just trying to figure it out as we go. I do. I like those flowers.
Magnolia blossom.
It does.
I'm looking at magnolia blossoms on the other poets. I want to get one. His mother told me not to. There's a lady that sits out on her porch and waves at me. She's got magnolias. And she's got magnolias, but I haven't asked her for them. Okay, I hope that you've had time to go through it, and if you haven't, there's probably time for you to do it after we have concluded. We are grateful for your time with us today. We are going to shut this down in just a few moments. We want to give you one more little exercise, sort of a feel-good exercise that we often do at the end of a session. And we will do it first, I assume,
Well,
Bobby.
before we do the concluding exercise, if there's a way to send a comment.
Yes, about the exercise or any aspect.
Anything you learned, anything you observed, anything you felt during the exercise, those things are not only useful to you, they're useful to other couples. So if there's a way to write a comment,
we welcome.
Yes.
Right.
Hope you will do that.
Yes.
Well, we'll move on then to our conclusion. Think about one valuable quality in your partner. Having been through this long enforced shelter in place, barely get outside time, there are probably plenty of times that you have noticed the irritating things that happen and are in all of us.
What?
Yes. But keeping a balance is also keeping in mind the good things that you value, that you appreciate, that you are grateful for.
Right.
So think of one valuable quality in your partner. And as we conclude, tell that person about it. It'll sound like this. One valuable quality that I am so grateful for in you is your ability to confront what needs to be said. This is a hard thing for me to do. And so I value it modeled by you all the more because I have such a hard time doing it.
Yeah.
You will stick with a difficult subject until we acknowledge it and we discuss it and we do something about it.
Right.
And I can just ignore the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I see that as a valuable quality in you, that you keep us on task to deal with difficult subjects.
Well, I really like the fact that you are a bright person, an intelligent person, and that you think, and you cause me to stay on my toes in relationship to you. And that's been true throughout our marriage. I felt that about you, that you're not just a cute, dumb blonde, but you're a smart.
Was blonde.
Yeah, right. But you're a smart woman that has good common sense, and I'm grateful for that. That you've been a great partner for me.
Well, thank
and
you.
That's been exciting.
Thank you.
Yes.
Well, I hope that you all have drawn closer together as we've been through this exercise and our talking during it. Remember that our topic was keeping a strong us, and what we've done is simply verbally try to tell each other the things we value, the things we want to accomplish, the fears we have, the hopes we have. And tonight's exercise brought out some of those things. So if you didn't quite finish that, as we conclude, finish the exercise together, take the time together, and be sure and do that valuable quality in your partner statement. It feels good thinking about it. It feels good to the partner hearing it. And we all need all the compliments we can get.
Yes, and the fact is that by doing all of these things, you develop and keep developing this wonderful us that is so important, imperative in dealing with children, dealing with extended family, dealing with society. So everything starts right there, and we are thrilled to be a part of it with you. So at this time, we're going to say so long until next month.
Next month, we'll be equipped to do the Zoom if we don't get back to the Parenting Center for our regular Meg date night.
I think it's on July 12th, if I'm remembering right. But we'll be letting you know via the email from the Parenting Center.
Well,
thank
we
you.
We love you, and we thank you for your presence tonight.
So long.